Community Radio. News and talk every morning. 80s all day.
SNSN.
Your community radio.
Live from Main Street.
Mike Minarski and Paul Lash in the morning and 80s all day and night.
SNSN.
Like they always say things that aren't stupid usually. And then they are stupid, it's funny.
All right. We are back once again. Day number 2 in the Paragon Studios. Paul is with me.
Yes, I am.
And we even have Daryl Nadu from The Healthy Computer. Main Street. Oh, no.
No.
School Street, Jewett City.
I made the long trek up here.
Did what?
I made the long trek up here.
You gotta go across the street.
Across the street.
He could throw a rock
See?
and break his window.
Huh?
Please don't.
Kathy already comments and says, love your new place.
Not mine. Yours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kathy Duffy from Matt's Mission. She's
Very
also
nice.
in this building here too. So
Yeah.
So what's going on? I asked you to come in today.
Yep.
Because why? Because
He was
let it all out.
He
It's
was
okay.
having network issues that were extremely technical, and it took me a long time to fix. But we finally got there.
We got here, 3 o'clock in the morning?
3 o'clock in the morning. Yep. Running on empty.
And, sorry, I didn't mean to not get you a coffee.
Nope. He had, for all the technical
good
people
coffee.
out there, his Wi-Fi was set to public and it needed to be switched over to private.
Yeah, that was
So
it. And
that
I don't
was
know how
it.
to do it.
Yeah.
Never private.
Never private.
No. So Daryl came in. He always fixes those things.
Yeah.
But isn't it? I don't think I've really had anything that's been taxing, except maybe one thing that took about an hour.
Yeah, it's the program that you use to run the radio with, the Ad Master.
Yeah,
That was the worst one.
Yeah, guess what? That's the one that.
Yeah. Well, after this, I got to get going. So.
But Daryl always seems to get it working, no matter what. So
yeah,
one way or another.
Yep.
Even if it's not the right way and it kind of works, it's okay,
Yeah, I just look at the end goal. If that's the way you wanted it, then it'll work. It may not be the way you would like it, but it will.
So now, how long have you been in Jewett City with the Healthy Computer?
Last time I checked, because I keep looking at my Facebook stuff and it gives me by age, and it's saying that I've been here for almost 8 years now. Which
Really?
yeah,
Have you been here that long?
yeah, I passed my 5-year and I didn't celebrate it because I didn't even know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, because I was on Mathewson Street before, and then I moved down here onto School Street, so it's easier for everybody to get to, and that's where I'm staying.
Very nice. Yeah, you're very centralized now, so
Yeah,
you're right there. So.
yeah, because I was looking at other places just to see what else was out there.
Sure.
And honestly, the location for me is perfect. It makes it easier for everybody to get to me. And the space is a little bit smaller than I'd like, but as a business, you always want something bigger. So
I had plenty of space at one point.
yeah,
I had more space than I could ever use.
yeah, but no parking.
I would have traded some of that for some parking.
Yeah,
I really would have.
Yeah.
But
Now you're in a sardine can.
no, I actually really like it here.
It's smaller.
But I like it here. You know what I mean? I told Melissa, and who else did I tell? I said it's just comfortable. I just feel comfortable here.
yeah,
As opposed to, well, I mean, I was comfortable. It took me a while because it was weird, but here I just feel.
yeah. We
comfy
can't
and
hear the
cozy.
trucks go by, and the kid that rides his bike with the loud music can't hear him anymore.
Well, but guess what we do here? We got the bells of the
Oh,
borough, which are
oh.
literally right outside my window.
Yeah,
So, it'll go bong, bong, bong. And I really hope I have to actually go ahead and fix my recording schedule around the top of the hour,
that makes sense.
because in the bottom of the hour too, because it plays a song too.
Mhm.
So Victoria says, I like the new studio. The parking is a bonus.
Yeah, I didn't even park back there today.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah, I walked down.
Yeah.
My old spot.
Was it just force of habit? You just like, oh,
No,
I'll
I
park
stopped
here.
and got the coffee.
Oh, okay, all right.
Otherwise, you wouldn't be drinking anything right now.
Well, it's funny
Yeah.
because we had so many habits
Yeah.
over there that just became second nature.
Yep.
You'd come in, if I got there first, I'd get the coffee. If he got there first, he would get the coffee.
Yeah.
And then I would bust his stones, like for the longest time, he would not take a cup of coffee from me.
Well,
He would not let me buy him a cup of coffee.
Because then he'd owe you.
Well, we wouldn't, but so
He'd be in your debt. So you can't have that.
yeah. So I would look at it, and I looked at him and I'd say, well, would you take this coffee if it was a gift?
Yeah.
And he said, well, I guess I'd have to take it if I said so. Almost every morning from that point on for, I don't know, last couple of years, I'd come across, Paul, I have a gift for you.
it's a gift.
I have a gift.
Yep.
Because you can't give it back then.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
So it is a gift. So yeah, Victoria, I'm glad you like the studio. We had a good show yesterday with Ann Dauphiné, the 44th district rep.
Yeah,
here
it
in the
really
state of
was good.
Connecticut.
I'm on the other spectrum of the Republican. I'm on the Democrat side, and I'm very open to listening to what either side has to say. And I was impressed with some of the stuff that she had to say. It was good to listen to.
Donna says good morning. Good morning to you too, sure. See, this is why I like doing this. It's completely interactive.
Yeah.
That's why I like doing this show. You listen to other shows or podcasts or whatever. They're just talking to themselves or the person across the desk.
Yep.
I'll just stop on a dime and just start talking to somebody that's in our chat room.
You also get real-time feedback if you say something wrong.
You betcha. Oh yeah. You'll hear the negative. You didn't do this, Mike. I know. Bridget Kinney says, congratulations on your 8 years, Daryl. You're a great asset to the community. So helpful.
Oh, thank you.
It's a good thing it has an ET on the end.
Yeah.
Huh? I don't know if I followed that one.
You don't get it?
No, I don't.
I would be just a great ass.
Oh.
Man, he what's with him?
Yeah, I get
it. He's not sharp at all.
Wow.
Yeah. Me and Paul.
Usually it's wow. Oh, look at this. Shayna the illest. She's the illest.
Yep.
Shayna, I got to tell you, 1983 call. They want your nickname back. Sorry, but she's the illest.
Yeah.
Says morning, gents. Victoria, let's see. Ann's a good person. The cool thing I have seen with her is she really doesn't care which party you are with. She'll listen.
Yep. We need more of that.
Yep.
And I'm definitely all for that. And even though I'm part of one party, I have no problems voting for the opposite side if need be. I
Mhm.
mean, if my views don't line up with the party that I'm in, then I'll just go with the other side if they line up. So
It's kind of like dating with you, isn't it?
Oh yeah, yeah. And it's like, oh, you should be an independent. I'm like, no, you're gonna make a decision one way or another. Can't ride the fence your whole life.
Joanne says, good morning. Glad you love the new studio. There's a lot of things we're going to do in here yet. So like behind Paul and Daryl, you see the door open and you see the bookcase with no books, but an empty coffee tray.
Yeah, there'll be some. He's going to impress everybody. Put a bunch of law books in there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So everybody thinks he's really smart.
Yeah.
Just put a bunch of Dr. Seuss.
Anybody that doctor, that's what I might do.
Yeah.
Little green eggs and ham.
There
Yep.
you go.
Today's reading selection is Horton Hears a Who. Lori Correctus String says, I have never voted straight party.
I would actually agree with that.
Yeah. You'd agree that she has never voted?
I've seen her votes. I was there.
She's out there every day, every time we have an election. Hi, I'm Lori String. These are my votes. No,
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, I pretty much the same way too.
Yeah, I
Uh,
can't remember the last time I voted
Unfortunately, the last time a lot of people did vote straight.
Yeah,
this last time.
Yep.
Yeah.
they sure did.
Yeah, I don't think anybody really paid attention to who the candidates were. They just voted.
Yeah,
I mean, oh, go
I-
ahead.
even since I'm a Plainfield resident, sorry, Jewett City. I used to live here though. I voted for Sparkman
in Lisbon.
in Lisbon, and then
You a Lisbon resident?
No,
So how the hell did you vote for
no,
Sparkman?
Plainfield.
Kevin Cunningham.
Cunningham.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, they all
I'm so
just
used to
blend together.
Sparkman coming on the show. That
Yeah.
yeah, I voted for him as well, and you know that was opposite my party, and it was just because even though I didn't agree with everything that they say,
Yeah.
which you don't have to. It's not an all or nothing thing. You can go and say, you know what, most of the views I line up with, and it's in the direction that I want to see the town or whatever go.
Mhm.
So that's the way I go.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank. Hey, Lori, thanks for participating this morning. It's always great to have. So I don't think you've typed in here before, but we're glad you did. And if you did, I'm sorry, but it's nice to have new people participating
Yes.
at all the time. I've never done street party, but some things you get lucky on, and some things you don't.
Yeah.
For example, Richard Matters in Jewett City of Griswold.
Mhm.
Nobody really knew who he was. I mean, his family, of course, knew him, but who was Richard Matters?
Doesn't
And he-
matter.
Wow. Ho, ho, ho. Sorry, Richard.
That's what he should. That's what his thing should
I'm
say.
not
you know?
responsible for Daryl's remarks. Oh God. But nobody really knew who he was,
Mhm.
right? So there
That's
you
true.
go.
Mhm.
But he has a long political history plus military career, which I don't think anybody really knew.
Yeah.
And he was first selectman, I think it was either Franklin or North Franklin for 20 years. 20 years.
Yeah.
Very familiar
That's
with
a
the
lot,
process, with a selectman, setup,
Mhm.
if you're, so he got in as second selectman. So good on them. So,
Mhm.
but that was one of those things. It was just straight party, the red wave.
Yeah. Even Heather Summers, I have no problem voting for her. No problem. It just probably one of the best candidates out there that you can. And every time you say that she should run for governor, I'm right behind you.
We're talking a little bit of politics this morning, just because of the fact that election day is not that far away.
Nope.
It's less than a month.
No, today's the 5th.
Yeah.
So when is the November 4th? What is it?
Well, it's first Tuesday, whatever day that is.
Yeah.
So we may be a month away.
It is the first Tuesday, or is it the second Tuesday?
I don't know.
Well, it's either the 1st or the 8th. I'm going to go with the 8th.
I'm going to go with the 8th. Sounds right.
Paul's arduously looking.
I was looking to see if it showed up, but it didn't show up on.
Got to use that Google machine.
Yeah.
Didn't
Just
show on
go
my
on
calendar.
Grizzle now and say, hey, anybody know when election day is?
You'll get like 80 different answers.
Well, I don't
24.
know. I can't wait till people start leaving voice answers and stuff on
Oh.
Grizzle now.
Oh,
What a hoozy that'll be.
uh,
Victoria said November 8th.
There you go.
So we know, and one of the things I said to Ann Dauphine is a lot of people don't know who they're running. I mean, they know, but the public, I have no idea who Brian Lanew's running against.
I don't either. I just
He's-
I see his face everywhere though.
Yeah.
Brian Lanew's face everywhere. He's got all these yard signs out and everything.
Yep.
And it's got a lot of in Preston because you just weren't into Preston. So I was driving through Preston yesterday. There's signs everywhere.
Well, he's got to make an impression in Preston,
Preston, 'cause it's
because
new.
that's new to him.
New.
you
So
know.
he has to make it in Preston.
Yeah. Wow.
At Preston. That's where
There we go.
This joke brought to you by
The
Country
healthy-
Farms
Yeah.
and the Healthy Computer.
Where everything works except our jokes.
Paul, you had a story.
Oh, you want to hear my story?
I do want to
All
hear
right.
it.
So let me ask you this question. If you were going to school and you had a topic that was, tough, what would you do? Would you study for that topic, or would you just blow it off? How do you feel about a topic that may be a little tough?
Well, to me, it would. I would vote for either way. It would depend on the subject, I think.
Okay. Here's
How about you, Daryl?
It depends on if I have any interest in that topic.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
So let's take the topic of organic chemistry.
Okay.
How would you feel about organic chemistry?
It sounds good, but
Sounds
I think
interesting,
I'd
but,
fall asleep.
Well, here you go. Here's the story. This actually happened at NYU.
okay.
A bunch of students were taking a course by a guy who teaches organic chemistry, even wrote the books that they use in the class. Because it was, and these classes are made up of doctors and future medical people. They didn't like it. It was too hard. The class was too hard.
Yeah.
So they wrote a petition to school, and the professor got fired because the course
it was
too hard.
Well, how many students did he have?
I don't know how many students there were, but still, come on.
Yeah. I mean, if all the students were saying that, then it might need to get looked into, because maybe he just made it like way out of the level of what they were trying to learn.
But who sets that bar?
The professor.
But he's the one that got fired.
So there you go.
Where do we set
Is
it
this
up?
recent?
This is like within the last week.
Okay.
This is a true story.
Well,
Yeah. So, like, if the professor is setting the bar on what you should be, what the curriculum is, unless there is a set curriculum that NYU has set and he was not following that.
yeah.
He wrote the book. The books being used in the class were written by this professor. He's an expert in organic chemistry. But it was too tough for the students. So what does that tell us where we're going?
Not in organic chemistry.
Yeah.
No, don't even use organic chemistry.
Yeah.
I'm using the thing is that if you don't like something, then the teachers, they could be ousted because they're too hard. What if that came down to our local schools?
Yeah.
What if we get where homework's too tough? So
I just never did it, but
Well,
was me.
that's yeah. So homework's too tough. So we don't
Well,
like
schools
it.
changed a lot.
Yeah.
It's changed a lot. I mean,
Come
there are
on.
kids today that are graduating high school that when we were in school, never would have made it.
Absolutely.
Never.
I just remember when my daughter was in school, the work school life was really hard because they would have school and then they'd have the homework after, and it wouldn't be just like, half hour and that would be it. No, they would have like an hour to 2 hours with their homework and then their extracurricular after that. And personal life, being a single father for a little bit, for a short time, then trying to balance all that, it was a little challenging, to say the least.
So Kathy, good morning, Kathy, says they just need to pass C's, get degrees.
That's right.
Victoria says, when I was in college, we wouldn't have dared to complain about a professor.
Well, I guess the way it is now, you can complain all you want.
And Laura, good morning, Laura. Because I'm curious if the professor was given the option to change the curriculum.
I don't know that.
Which is kind of
we don't
what
know.
I had said. Laura, do we end up thinking, what is wrong with that?
I mean, if he
We
wrote
think
the
of it,
book
yeah.
on the course,
He did.
you know.
He wrote-
Okay. That was my question. It's like,
Yeah.
did NYU take the book and say, okay, this is what we want to teach,
Mhm.
and that's it? And then he kind of, went rogue. We don't know.
We don't know that, but still, it was just the object of them being able to sign a petition
Yeah.
and get rid of the guy
Mhm.
because
So-
the course was too tough.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, that in itself, I would like to see a little bit more, like if the
Yeah.
kids actually complained and the school did something, or if they just were like,
They
we're
did.
gonna replace them with coloring,
See, going back to their political conversation, Joanne says, I come from a very Democratic family and I vote straight Republican all the way. The Democrats have gone off the rails somewhere. It is no longer the People's Party.
Yeah, it's not the party that we knew when John F. Kennedy was president. It's not that Democratic Party.
Well, are either party the same?
No.
Because
No.
You know, it to me, I vote. This is probably going to get me in trouble though, but I vote.
Won't be the first time.
Yeah. Might as well get myself into trouble.
Yeah.
I vote for more morally down the line than anything else. If
But that's small town politics, Daryl.
yeah, that's small town. If I'm looking at like the big picture, I still kind of do the same thing, you know, because I like the moral compass to drive it.
Yeah, and again, that's small town politics.
Yeah.
And I think you see a lot of that, a lot more than you do, in the national scene.
Yeah, on this side of the state, it really is odd that the rest of Connecticut is blue, but on this side, it's red.
Yeah, I don't understand that at all.
It really is odd.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, we've always been considered to be the other Connecticut anyway.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
been that way for years.
We should just invade Rhode Island.
Well, Lisbon's trying to been trying to invade Jewett City for years, but good thing we have a good strong border
Yep, and
patrol. So
and we have all the ammo.
So
Yeah.
whose zip code do we share? Do we share Lisbon's zip code or is it our zip code?
no, it's Griswold's.
Yeah.
06351 is Griswold.
Hmm.
Let's see. Now going back to the whole school thing.
Yeah.
We talked about C's get degrees and
Yeah, yeah.
and all of that kind of stuff. There was another comment here I was gonna share. Oh yeah, here it is. Sean says no child left behind. All right, I get that, but is it a diploma or is it a participation trophy?
Oh, it's a diploma. I don't think if you go to college and you're trying to strive for the
I'm talking high
goal-
school.
Oh, for high school?
Yeah. Is it a diploma, meaning you earned it, or is it more of a, hey, thanks for coming, you were here most of the time,
I would say the latter.
participation trophy?
Yeah, I would say high school is it's more on the work that you put in is what you'll get out after high school
Mhm.
than if you don't put anything in. Yeah, you can pass and you'll be on your way and good luck in life.
Yeah. Sean says you don't want to break a child's spirit.
Why? Somebody's going to do it at some point. And if you
Yeah.
aren't teaching the child that, not like break their spirit so that they're broken for life, but if you don't show them that things don't always go your way,
Yep.
somebody's going to.
Yeah, there's kids today. They never would have gotten it. They'd be staying back.
Yeah.
In our day, yes.
Now it's just like you can,
Yeah, right.
if you go twice a week, you're going to graduate. Even
Yeah.
if you do
Yeah.
nothing.
That's true.
I actually told the kids, that I know and my own kids, what's high school all about? And to me, an honest answer to me is high school is about learning to be on time. It's about learning to abide by a schedule.
Absolutely.
It's about, saying you have to be somewhere at a certain time. It's about learning how to complete tasks because damn well, when's the last time that you sat around in your job and it depended on how much you knew about the court case of Sacco and Vanzetti in Boston?
Just yesterday. No.
I told you needed to be on this show.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever used algebra.
Yeah.
And the times that I've had to do it.
And you're in a technical career. I mean,
Yeah. But I use more binary than anything else. But if you're sitting there going, I need to find the solution to this problem, you take out your little pocket calculator that has Google built into it and you just ask that.
Oh, well, yeah.
And-
But the Google wasn't around years ago.
No, it wasn't. I went to Catholic school. All right. And I went in fourth grade. I had Sister Teresa, and
We talking about Jewett City?
Plainfield, Moose Up. I went to
All Hallows. Okay, all right.
So
oh, boy.
in fourth grade, you had to recite the entire multiplication table 1 through 9 before you could go outside on recess.
Yeah.
And you only had 2 minutes to do it, and it was on flashcards. I never went to recess that whole year.
Wow.
But at the last day of school, I finally did it.
Yeah.
And one kid had to stay inside with you and had a bell underneath the desk. And when the 2 minutes is up, they ring the bell.
Yeah.
And if you didn't pass it, then you had to do long division cards.
So what's 8 times 12?
Oh my God.
96.
No, you haven't told me the answer.
It was 1 through 9, Paul.
I mean, I was always good with math and stuff, and I think that was a natural talent. I don't think it was anything that was taught. I mean, I was the kid, that we would go through the grocery line, and because they had those old registers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And my mother would say, "How much change am I getting back?" And I would, boom. I mean, I wasn't like Rain Man-esque or nothing like that, but yeah, down 24, down
$4.62.
Yeah, change, Wapner. Yeah, Wapner. Good son, good driver. Yeah, good driver.
Okay.
But I did. I could do that pretty quick.
Yeah.
I couldn't do anything else when it came to school very well. I mean, I had B's. I was a straight, strong B student. Yeah.
I was a CD student, but when we had robotics, computers, things like that, that's all I did. That was where my forte was.
So do we push to get rid of classes like history?
No.
Absolutely
Okay.
not.
Okay. English.
No.
Do you change it to something else?
Like what?
I don't know. Like Kathy said something here in the group, and that says high school should be prepping kids for adulthood.
Yes.
Lori, have a great day at work. Thanks for joining us today.
Well, if you don't teach English, how are kids going to know what their pronouns are? Oh, there's another one. Man, I'm on fire today.
You're absolutely right. Yeah, because
Oh my God.
you don't want to misinterpret a pronoun as a noun.
That's right.
Then, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah. Or an adverb. You don't want to be an adverb.
See, I think I learned more about grammar. See, that's the thing. Were we teaching English or were we teaching grammar?
I would say grammar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I know college seniors that say, yeah, it'd be like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, you're a college senior and you're very well educated, or you're getting to the point where you're very well educated.
Yeah.
Yet you can't speak.
Well, I
It'd
think
be like that.
Yeah.
I think what people have to understand.
Catch me outside. How about that?
I think people don't. The fog index. I think a lot of people, when you write letters, you have to write the fog index like 5th or 6th grade. If you start to write at a higher level, people don't understand what the hell you're saying.
Right.
I mean, I remember when we were writing letters. I mean, just to other people in the company, we'd have to say, he doesn't understand what the hell we're saying. So we'd have to tone it way down. So it was a very low fog index. And I always remember the fog index being like 6th grade.
Did you always do better in subjects that you were comfortable with and that you liked? Or did you do better in subjects in school that were just awful and you had no, like, I could care less about history.
Mm-hmm.
So I like history.
Now, I don't mean I don't care about history in general. I didn't care about what they were teaching.
I didn't.
Like I knew about the Pilgrims. I knew about this. I knew about that. Okay, that's great. But other things, like, unless I was going to become an attorney, again, I'll go back to that whole Sacco and Vanzetti thing. I didn't need to know that.
Yeah.
Could care less.
I think the toughest subject I had run into when I was going to college, it was English lit, where you had to read this article and come up with what you thought I understood. What's it mean? How the hell do I know what the hell it means? But that was my tough subject, because English lit.
But even in a reading course now, there are so many schools that are eliminating books. and eliminating literature, like Huck Finn,
Yeah.
because of one of the characters' names. Well, so what? That was what they said
That's
in that time period.
That's literature, though.
Yeah, that's literature.
That's
Well,
what it should
English
be.
literature.
Yeah, that's what it should be.
So, is that correct or incorrect?
To get rid of
You know what I mean?
I think that, even though the books like the Tom Sawyers and stuff like that, that should still be included, but they should also be including other books that are from later time periods that should be read as well. It shouldn't just be the ones that we had when we were going, because history has and literature has changed.
Right.
So maybe incorporating some of this is what it used to be. This is where we've been moving up to.
Yep.
So not totally eliminating it, but just showing a timeline.
Why are we not teaching a class called like daily planning? And I'm not talking about, I mean, other things like, budgeting and stuff like that. That's always fun and interesting, and a kid needs to learn that. But why do we not teach a class like daily scheduling or life scheduling, something like that? Because even though that's what school's supposed to be, I'll be honest with you, when I was a senior in high school, McDonald's just opened in Lisbon.
Mhm.
That's how long it's been. That's how long I can tell you exactly how long that store's been open, because it opened in 1984 when I was a senior.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
So what do you think happened?
Yeah.
Hey Sean,
where
you
you're
wanna
working.
you wanna hit first period? You wanna go get a egg McMuffin? Let's go get an egg McMuffin. You got it.
Yep.
We would do that. So
Yeah, my big concern is where does the school stop and the parents begin?
mhm.
So when it comes to scheduling, shouldn't the parents actually be showing that?
I'm just spitballing.
Well,
just so you
yeah.
know, I'm just
We're getting away from parents being involved.
Absolutely.
What's happening is I know there was an article in the paper recently of a school system that they wanted to teach the kids a certain thing, and they weren't even telling the parents.
Yeah.
Parents, you're out of it. We're going to teach this subject, and we're not telling you. So parents' control of what's being taught in school
Mhm.
is going away, which
Yeah,
is
and-
unfortunate because there are some things in school that you shouldn't be teaching.
If you want your kid to learn how to, balance a checkbook, I don't know why, but if you want them to, the parents should be teaching that. That's
but checkbooks aren't even a thing
No, they're
anymore.
not,
Some
but
people still have them, but
I hear it all the time. Like, well, kids don't even know how to write a check anymore. Well, number one, they don't need to. Number two,
they don't know how to use a rotary phone either.
sit your kid down for 5 minutes and show them how to write a check if you want them to. It'll literally take you 5 minutes to show them, and then they'll be like, all right, that's cool, and never use it again, but you can show them.
Okay, so in 10 years from now, do you think anybody's going to be writing checks?
It's very rare.
In 2030, 2030, 2032.
Oh,
are we
absolutely
gonna-
not.
No.
Absolutely not.
No checks.
So does it need to be taught?
No.
No. I think that's something in your house. Say, hey, Mom, how do you do this? Okay, here you go. I'll be honest with you. I write before, like here at the Paragon Studios,
Mhm.
I wrote a check for my first month's rent.
Yep.
That's the only check I'll write this month. It's it. Even when
Yeah.
when I was at the other spot, it was automatically drafted. I didn't even have to. It was nothing. It was just a
Yeah, I haven't
deduction out of my account.
I have a big book of business checks that I bought when I first opened.
Yep.
And I still have like half of them. I
Yeah.
barely used them. So I don't think that it'll be a big deal.
I'm the guy that Paul. I don't even need to order checks, because if I need checks, I'll just go down to the bank. Can you print me 5?
Oh, that's true. You're right. You don't.
It's like, and those 5 will last me a long time.
Yeah, you don't write checks too often. I agree.
Oh, Donna makes a really good point, and I'm glad he said this. Cursive is no longer being taught.
I kind of agree that it shouldn't be taught because
I do too.
I haven't written in cursive in forever. I usually print because it makes it easier when you're sending something to somebody and it's just fancy print. I mean, it's
a font now.
Yeah, I mean, cursive is fun and all, but I learned that in Catholic school, and it was great, but I don't think it's absolutely necessary, especially when you're sending emails all the time and all that other stuff. When was the last time you wrote somebody a letter?
True. True. Like matter of fact, when I was a senior in high school, one of the things that my guidance counselor, this was the most important thing that I ever heard from my guidance counselor. You ready for this?
Mhm.
You need an elective. Oh, okay. Take keyboarding.
Yes.
They didn't even call it typing anymore. It was,
Yep.
take keyboarding. You're going to need that going into the future. Now we're talking 1983 to 84, right? ASDF, ASDF, JKL, semicolon, JKLF, semicolon, whatever.
Yep.
Home row.
He must have succeeded in that class.
I know. I still know it today because I use it.
Oh.
You know what I mean? You do. We all use that. So thank you, Mr. Tremblay, for.
I still have to look at the
telling me
keyboard when I
about that.
type, though. And I use a keyboard every day, all day long, and I still have to look at the keyboard.
I think
when
I
type.
think I look at the keyboard just as a crutch.
Yes.
Because you know what I mean?
Yep.
Because I'll turn away and I'm still typing. I don't even realize it. What about you, Paul?
QWERTY.
Yeah,
QWERTY.
QWERTY keyboard, huh?
Yep.
Yeah. QUERTY.
Yep.
Is that anything like NIMBY? Not in my backyard.
Right.
Victoria says, I love writing letters. And that seems to be more of a hobby now
Yeah.
than a
In cursive?
necessity. Yeah, in cursive, or do you print it?
How about calligraphy? Should we teach that?
Yeah.
That's an
There we
art.
go. That's an
Yeah.
art form.
That's
yeah.
an art form.
That's a way better than cursive.
Yeah.
Sean says I have a checking account, but I haven't actually written a check in 10 years.
There you
Yeah.
go.
The reason why you have a checking account is because they don't take money, depending on who your bank is. It's actually cheaper to have a checking account than a savings account because you have to keep a minimum in a savings, and in checking, you don't really have to.
Let's see. I think I totally buzzed by this comment here. Victoria, here we go. My youngest, going back into reading and stuff like that, and English lit and stuff. My youngest read Animal Farm last year. I was so excited. I found my copy from high school with the notes plus the cliff notes. The 2021 interpretation he was taught of the book was very different from 1984.
I can imagine.
Place is falling apart.
Yeah, no, I'm just kicking things
Time
over.
to move.
The one thing you got to do in here though is cool it down.
Oh God,
It's hot in here.
it's like you're in an interrogation room in here.
Oh, come on. It's not bad.
I'm actually sweating.
Yeah, yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's really hot in here.
Well, you know what? There's the control right there.
It's set to 55.
Is it really?
Yeah.
You already looked?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, that's
You can tell how
interesting.
new it is too by the beige color.
It is very warm in here. That's the only thing.
Yeah, I did find that it was a bit
Yeah.
warm.
Yeah.
We may have to open a window.
Those I don't think we can.
Open. Oh,
Maybe this one, but I haven't checked yet.
Yeah.
So
that's the only fault I can say about it. And the reason I guess is because the seal is just very low.
yeah.
Yeah.
Heat rises, Victoria says. So
That's right,
we are on
right.
the second floor.
That's
so.
true. Yeah.
Heaven on the seventh floor. That was a song back in the day.
Back in 70.
78, 77.
Wow.
Yeah. Paul Nicholas was a one-hit wonder. It's called Heaven on the Seventh Floor.
Yeah.
Look it up. Kurt from Oklahoma. Howdy, partner. Welcome on in. And Peggy from Utah. Good morning, Peggy.
Yeah.
There we go. Some of the comments weren't popping up. There we go. So we've kind of run the gambit a little bit about school,
Yep.
and like I said, is it a diploma, high school diploma, or is it more of a participation trophy now?
I think when you get past 8th grade, high school is just like either you're going straight through high school and going for a job,
Yep.
or you're actually really trying to go to college. I think grade school is harder to get through than high school is.
Okay.
That was just me personally going to a Catholic school, and
Is it harder, or is it really, or is it relative, because a lot of the curriculum is just being introduced for the first time to young children? Is it harder, or is it because they're starting at day one? Because by the time you're in high school, you've kind of got an idea.
Yeah, it's
of
kind
what
of like
some
a
things
refresher,
are.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of go through more. Mine was I was a left-handed person in a Catholic school, so I had a rough go.
The other thing is too, it's like your thinking patterns change.
It's true, yeah, they
So-
really do.
So like when I was a freshman, I took I'm sorry. When I was a sophomore, I took geometry. Failed it miserably.
Mhm.
Failed it miserably. It was one of those things that it's like squares, right angles, cosine, sine,
Isosceles
cosine,
triangle.
isosceles. Yeah, could care less.
How about trig?
Hold on, I'm getting there.
Okay.
So now, and I think also the teacher means a lot too.
Yeah.
Really, really different. So when I became when I was a junior, I had to take it again. I had a 99 for the year. But a lot of things in my life had changed. I've gotten a car.
Yeah.
I had a job. So my thinking, process, had, was a little more deductive.
In other words, your
so-
mind finally grew up to your body.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because I was a big goofy kid, and then all of
Yeah.
a sudden, so.
Yeah, as a freshman, you're kind of scared that whole year,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
you don't know what's coming up.
You have to get your butt kicked.
Tim is streaming from the shores of Tampa. Good morning, Tim. How are things in Tampa, Florida?
Wow.
Awesome.
It's pretty warm down there.
Huh?
Pretty warm down there.
Pretty warm in this damn room.
No kidding. I'm starting to sweat, man.
Don't never let him see you sweat. Sarah. Good morning. Hello, Sarah. Sarah's in England. Well, not anymore.
Oh,
I'm late to the conversation, but I think high school is the first life lesson in the principle. You out of something, you get out of something what you put into it.
It's true.
yep.
It's kind of like what we talked about earlier too.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, Sarah, you're pretty much right on target with what we were talking about.
Yep.
Let's see, Victoria, younger grads now have too much focus on standardized testings and dealings.
You can let the feelings go. That's not going to help you in life.
Feelings.
Whoa, feelings. Whoa. Come on, Daryl. Feel.
I don't know that song. That was before me.
Hello, David Paulino in Hamden. See, we're all over the place. We're nationwide.
Yep.
So, you have another story, do you not?
All right, here's another story. Again, another school,
Okay.
Vermont.
Oh, before we do that, why does my fan keep coming on in this laptop? Don't say
Because it's hot in here.
no. We did it in the other studio too.
Have you cleaned up the side of the fan lately? No. Get some canned air and spray it
How
in the
does he
side.
know these answers? He's brilliant,
Can you turn that fan towards me?
huh?
Can you put that?
Well, it's blowing
Oh
out
my
hot air. It's probably what's heating up the
Oh,
room.
that's probably heating the room up.
Jeez. Peggy says, "Clear your cache."
He ain't got
Honey,
any
my
cash.
my cache has been cleared a long time ago. Polino says, in our community, taxes are high, crime is high, cost of living is high. The only thing low is morale.
That's.
I don't know.
You think morale is high?
Yeah.
Dave's
I
new
think-
book, The Power of Positivity, is out next week at all Walton Books.
I think if you focus on politics, your morale is low. But if you think outside of politics and,
Yeah, well, yeah, inflation kind of makes me a little happy. When I go to the
Yep.
grocery store and I got to pay an extra 25 or 30 bucks, yeah, that makes me feel happy.
it does. Because I'm like, you know what? If I just had this
Kurt.
money, I'd blow it on something else like other bills or,
Yeah.
trying to get more food or,
I'm always trying to get more food.
or just blowing it on something on Amazon. I mean, why do I need the money?
You don't need it.
I don't need it.
So from now on, we just don't pay it when we do some work.
Yeah.
You don't need the money.
That's fine.
Speaking about money, so like, and this is just
Yeah.
it's a personal story.
Yeah.
So Rihanna every so often will text me, "Dad, can you DoorDash me? This. I want lunch."
Yeah.
I'm like, all right. and she'll do it every day. And I have to stop her
Yeah.
because, and then finally I sat her down a couple of weeks ago. I said, look, I don't have $25 a day that I can send you for lunch via Cash App.
Jeez.
And so she finally realized it. And then last night she goes, I'm really craving those taquitos at 7-Eleven. I said, oh. She goes, yeah, but I'm not going to ask you because I know you're trying to finish buying the house. I said, so what you're doing is you're just really trying to impress on me that you want taquitos like maybe now from
Just planting the
DoorDash.
seed, seeing if it grows.
Yeah. So she goes, and I told her, the big thing is that I can't right now because I got to kind of freeze things
Yeah.
on my personal end because we want the house to go. I mean, it's already approved and done,
Right.
and
Right. You just don't want to take any unnecessary risks.
no, exactly. And she understood that, and I told her, I said, tomorrow would be a really good day, but you could probably, I would try tomorrow and ask. You think so? Yeah. So she was happy. So.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that I try to instill in my daughter, which she
Why I told that story,
understands-
has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but
she understands is don't say you have something until it's in your hand. If it's not in your hand, even though you're sure, you're absolutely positive it's going to happen,
Yeah.
if it's not in your hand, it's not there yet. It's not yours. Don't count on it.
Yep.
So
Now you haven't even told a dad joke today.
I will.
Oh, well, okay.
Okay.
we've had a lot of crappy jokes, but
So
You've been on fire, though.
I know.
So here we go.
All right.
This story is in Vermont.
Okay.
It's related to a volleyball team at a public school in Vermont. The girls' volleyball team has been banned from their own locker room.
Okay.
All right.
And that's because they have a transgender player. The transgender player, which is a male,
Yeah.
the girls don't like. This guy can come in there, sat down, and he watches them undress. He's also made lewd remarks about them. The girls were told, if you want to stay in that locker room, go into that single stall. That's yours.
Mhm.
The guy gets the whole locker room. And the school board is okay with it.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Aren't there two locker rooms? A male locker room? Or hold on.
He's allowed to use the girls' locker room.
Okay. So tell the girls to go to the boys' locker room.
Can't.
I think
Why?
the boys would be okay with that.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm going to play devil's advocate. What? Maybe the young, the transgender male,
Mhm.
maybe he's curious as to what he wants. Maybe he's not there yet. He's not taking hormone pills or whatever. And it's like, oh,
Well, then he should be in the boys' locker room.
Well, Vermont allows transgenders to, they,
Yeah.
can, they protect them. So,
But it's a-
so
it's
all
a-
the
well, most
girls,
states do.
so all the girls now are kicked out of their own locker room.
So it's a girls' volleyball team.
A girls' locker room.
Okay.
The guy comes in. He says he's a transgender.
Is he playing for the
He
girls'
plays on
volleyball
the
team?
girls' team,
Wow.
which is okay. No, they don't have a problem with that.
Mm.
The problem they have is that he goes into the girls' locker room and sits there and watches them change, and a lot of them get very upset over that happening.
I have a
He's
solution.
also made some remarks that they don't like. So the school is protecting the male transgender rather than the girls. The girls were told there's a single stall over there. You girls can change in there. Well, you can't take 30 people into a small locker
Right.
room. So,
Hmm.
but the school is favoring the transgender. So what do you think about that story?
Daryl, you said you had a solution.
Right. Since he's on the girls' volleyball team, that means that the boys' locker room is empty.
No, not
Well,
necessarily.
yeah. Well, there's the
No,
boys'
not
volleyball
necessarily,
team to go.
no.
But the boys could be cross country.
But the
You know,
boys-
there are more sports, more than just one
But
sport.
there could be a
you know.
boys
No,
volleyball
that's
team.
just girls' volleyball. That's all that school plays.
That's it.
That's it.
Okay.
They specialize in it.
He does a lot more.
He did the research.
I guess
I
so.
did my own research.
He looked it up on Google.
Yeah, I think that's I don't agree with that. So the transgender thing is kind of like a mind twist for me. I understand it. I just don't have a solution for it.
Gotcha.
But I mean, sitting there and watching them kind of like says, what the hell's going on here? Is this guy really if he was a transgender, would he really care about watching?
If they already made the decision that he can play on the girls'
They did.
volleyball team, then
Which they did, which is okay. I don't have a problem
I
with
guess all
that.
bets are off.
I don't have a problem with that. But if you're sitting there watching them, I mean, would you want your daughter sitting there being uncomfortable with some guy sitting there watching them? And he's stark naked too, by the way.
So why doesn't he get changed before they do? Or vice versa?
Because Vermont law says that transgenders apparently they have their rights and the girls don't.
So if it's transgender wants to be their own class, shouldn't we treat them like their own class?
We don't.
So don't jump down my throat for this. That this is just throwing things out there. But like if the girls are getting changed with the girls and the boys are getting changed with the boys, shouldn't the transgenders get changed with the transgenders?
Maybe he is or she is the only transgender student in the school.
Then that solves the issue too.
So what they need, I think what they need to do, if they're going to, they should remodel a small room and put, maybe a few lockers in it and call this the transgender room.
Right. I mean, just like you have the family bathroom at,
Right.
and
the mall or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it's the opposite.
yeah.
They're forcing the girls out, and he's taking over the entire room.
Where the girls going to get changed?
Much like I just said, Peggy says, create a space for her.
That's Vermont's not doing it.
Yeah, but where the girls get changed at. So if he or she, I'm sorry, I'm not
Let me throw this one at you. All right, here's a real curveball. Sean says, yes, build a locker room for each gender, so we need 85 locker rooms. However, if you talk to some of the younger folks in the woke community, they will tell you gender is not a thing. So how many locker rooms do you need? Because it is not a thing.
Well, the woke generation
It doesn't exist.
Yeah,
It's a term.
it's. I think that they're a very small part. I think that they throw stuff out there, and either it picks up steam or it doesn't.
Yep.
And most of the time, it really doesn't.
Do you remember back in the 80s, late 70s? I don't. You may have been too young for this.
Yeah, it was.
But or Paul, homosexuality was not really accepted yet in society.
No, it wasn't.
Right?
Yeah.
It was just one of those things that, people would guffaw, at different homosexuals and stuff like that, because it just, I think people are afraid of what they don't know about, primarily.
Yeah.
But so let's look at it today. I think we are in that same space today with transgender athletes or transgender people.
I accept
at all.
it. I totally accept it. But there's some aspects that are so up in the air that it's going to take somebody smarter than me to figure it out. Because I don't know how somebody born a male can then compete in a female sport where their genetics are completely overpowered.
That's a different subject
So,
altogether.
Right.
That's a
but
different subject.
I don't have a solution to that, but I agree that they should compete with whatever gender that they associate with.
Mhm.
But there's always two sides to the coin, and I just don't know how to balance it.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with a good solution to it. I just don't know what it is.
Well, in this particular case, I don't have a problem with he wants to play on the girls' team. The problem that I have is that he's taking advantage. To me, he's taking advantage. First of all, she, all right, she stays there nude. She makes remarks about the women, the girls that are in the locker room, and then
the other girls. I'm not trying to be snarky. I'm just trying
right.
to. This is,
girls. And then he sits there and he watches them. Now, to me, that right there should be something in your head saying, what's this guy doing? Because if you're a transgender, you don't really care about sex of the other person, then why are you sitting there watching them?
Maybe he's just curious. Because don't tell me, let me tell you something. And if you say, you're a freaking liar. All right. Remember the old locker room days with the boys? Guess what? everybody was looking because they wanted to see what you were comparing what you had to what they had.
Well, he's probably looking down and looking over and saying, "Man, what's going on here?" but that's the part that bothers me is
Hey, got an extra tool in the tool belt.
the remarks.
You are so inappropriate.
the remarks and the staring. And
You're
the
going
girls,
straight to hell.
but and the girls getting kicked out of the room,
Yeah.
and he gets the whole locker room. I mean, what the hell's with the school board?
Hmm.
And what the hell about the
I still
law?
think they're trying to find their way, kind of like, society with, homosexuality back in the 60s and 70s, part of the 80s and stuff, because that's when it really started to become. I mean, I lived it. My mother, was in a lesbian relationship with Sharon for 30 years. Was probably the most beautiful relationship I'd ever seen,
Mhm.
ever. And I've said that over and over and over again ad nauseum, because they were just perfect together. They really were. If you wanted to know what a relationship should have been like, should have been you should have seen my mother and Sharon interact in the way they did things. Never fought.
Yeah.
And if they did, they disargue. If they would argue, they would always agree to disagree, and they were fine. Boom. Next thing you know, they're laughing and joking again.
Yeah.
Amazing relationship. So I grew up like that. I grew up in that kind of household. So now, Daryl, let me ask you a question. Okay. You have a daughter, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So as do I. So now take your daughter and imagine her being a transgender male.
Mhm.
Okay. How do you feel in this situation? Do you go ahead and do you, support your daughter, who wants to transgender into a male, in high school, and that alone is enough to drive a kid batty,
Right.
to even come to that kind of a conclusion. What about you as an adult? So we know what we talked about a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
How do you feel as a parent
As
in
a,
that situation?
as a parent, I would support it, but I would also say when you turn 18 or 21, you can then fully go through whatever change you want to go through.
You're talking about like surgical.
Right.
Okay.
But until then, I'll support whatever you want to do now.
Mhm.
But we're going to wait until you are at a level supposedly where your brain is fully developed.
Yep.
So that I know
So
that
that's 25, 26.
well, at 21 they're considered an adult.
Right, but your
So-
brain is still developing. If you talk to like the folks at the head trauma
yeah.
institution in Worcester, Mass.
If she
25.
made it that far, then I'd be like, okay, then this is absolutely the way that you want to go. Then we can pursue.
Yeah, I think that they see a lot of things out there, and they think because a lot of people are transgender or gay or whatever you want to call it.
Transgender is not necessarily gay.
No, I know.
Mhm.
That because they see it in order to, and a lot of these people are very successful, that they think that they have to do that in order to become
Mhm.
very successful.
Right.
And I think at an early age, you get a 13 or 14-year-old that doesn't know what the hell is going on. That's not good. And I've heard stories where some people have gone to the other extreme and now have regretted it because they just made the jump too soon.
Okay.
Because it really wasn't them.
Yeah, like I was telling my daughter, I'm like, you wanted a tattoo when you were like 13. She's going on 22 now. It's like, what if I let you get that tattoo at 13?
Right.
She goes, oh my God. I would have hated it now. Yeah. So things change as you go along. So, I would support, like, if my child was like, hey, I want to go on this. Okay. Then
Mhm.
let's support that and go through it. Don't deny it, but make sure that is what it is.
I want you to move your head for a minute. So for all the people, a little bit more, that know me from TikTok, if you look right behind Daryl's head, you have the SNSN sign, right? But we also have the We Love the 80s.
Well, I guess it didn't take long to get off of that, huh?
Ah, look at that.
It's a plug.
Sorry,
Shameless
I-
plug.
I felt the need to kind of switch it for a
I
second.
guess what you said didn't mean much.
Whatevs.
He's really focused, ain't he?
Yeah.
No. It made sense. Just, but I
Well,
think
you should-
sometimes we gotta throw the monkey wrench down. So, like Kevin Cunningham, who was in the room,
Oh,
he's got a dad joke.
he does.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
I searched for a lighter on Amazon, but all I could find were 6,000 matches.
All
Ah,
right.
Oh,
That's good. Not really, but it's good.
Oh, Jesus. All right, what else we got in here?
Don't quit your day job.
Okay, no, here's a comment by Peggy. Why wait to support and learn until an erroneous age?
Oh, no. What I'm saying is if she came up to me at 13, I would still support and pursue, but I wouldn't go to the extreme measures of going to the surgical stuff until she was an adult.
I don't think they allow it to at least 21. Isn't there some law or
Don't
rule?
know. I do not.
I don't think, as a 13 or 14 or 15-year-old, I don't think you can do it.
Well, that's even better because
Yeah, I
the
thought-
worst thing that you want to do is if your child comes up to you and says this, is for you to deny it.
Yeah.
That is the absolute worst thing you can do.
Isn't there a certain time frame they have to go through also before they allow them to make the surgical process?
I don't know. I can tell you, like gastric bypass, there
Mm-hmm.
are lots of different procedures you have to go through.
And I would think it's the
And
same
you have
way.
to go through
'Cause this is
psyche
really-
eval and
Yeah.
a whole bunch of. I
I
don't know
would-
what it's like for this.
I would think there's got to be something because you're just not going to go in there and say, "Hey, I want this done."
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, takes a
All right.
while.
Be an overnight procedure. Let's
Yeah.
see.
Yeah.
So here's a question for you:
Oh Jesus.
What's Grandma's favorite fruit?
Passion fruit.
Passion fruit of Grandma?
You saying grandmas don't have passion?
Well, they do, but
What are they, dried up old ladies? You know, they're like prunes. You know, I mean, it's like. What are you taking today, Geritol? No, just eat some prunes and raisins. You'll be pooping all day, Grandma. Have some total
Oh,
colon blow.
there you go.
Oh, I saw that the other day.
Oh, how about upside down pineapple? There we go. Whoa. That'll get your bowels working, depending.
So what's the answer?
I don't know. I forgot the question.
What's Grandma's favorite fruit?
Grandpa.
Elderberry.
Oh, Jesus.
Ah.
Nah.
Hey, what a great.
That's why I love dad jokes. I really do. 'Cause
And they go,
they're just so freaking silly. Thank you, Rodney, David, Madeline, Laura, for clicking like today. Thank you, Tim, Donna, Rich, and Shayna, the illest, clicking the heart, and Yvonne and Victoria I missed one, for clicking the laughing emoji.
Oh no. Which one?
And this
Where
one?
was that at? Which
And
joke?
Laura. I didn't say Laura. There we go. Huh?
Which
I
joke
don't
was
know.
that
It could have
for?
been upside down pineapple, you know? That's a great joke to play
Yeah.
at a grocery store.
Upside down pineapple.
Do you know what that means?
I have no idea what
Yeah,
that
I
means.
You were laughing like crazy and you don't know
I
what it
think
means.
I know what it means.
All right. What do you think it means? Nah. Go ahead. And you can say it without using expletives.
Is it supposed to be that
He knows. He's just.
like a playground? One of your favorite things is to swing.
Yeah, well, that's a good way of putting it. Yeah. It's the international symbol for swingers.
Yes. I thought I knew, but I wanted to make sure.
I mean, I've seen people with pineapple earrings that were upside down.
Oh.
So that, you know, when you go grocery shopping with Bonnie,
Yeah.
okay, grab a pineapple, put it upside down, walk away.
I'm glad I didn't make my my logo that.
Huh?
Glad I didn't make my logo that.
Colleen says the couple in the home are swingers. What home?
I
Your
think
home?
I think she's meaning what the upside down pineapple thing is.
Oh! You know, and I do want to get back at I wanted one thing about the transgender conversation that we had.
Yeah.
Court Kinney, who's always very logical. He quotes in and says, "Sorry, common sense. Parts is parts. You have certain parts. You are in a certain locker room. It is totally unfair to the other students."
Yes, it is.
Yep.
Okay.
It's everything is black and white until you look at the gray. And then
Yeah.
once you look at the
That's
gray,
why I asked you, how would you feel if it was your daughter?
yeah, once you look at the gray,
That's trans.
it's like, oh, wait a minute.
Well,
Yeah.
you
that's
know?
true. That's what if it was your daughter that played on the volleyball team? What if she was actually a girl and the guy was in there?
Well, my daughter's like 5'2", so
What about another kid in the volleyball team that didn't make the volleyball team because a transgender
Yeah.
female is on the team?
Yeah.
That's another fight altogether.
Yeah.
Because that happened in Connecticut where on the track team where a girl, I think it was Bloomfield, where a girl was she was a senior and it was supposed to be her year to go to states and everything, and she got bumped for a transgender girl.
Well,
Yeah.
same thing happened with the swimming thing there. Remember the guy with the swim beat?
but a girl beat him. Her.
He finally beat him
Ah,
because the girl let's say the transgender won.
Yeah.
Beat the girl, but and he was booed by everybody.
Peggy says, here's a good question.
Mhm.
So if I have a mastectomy,
Yeah.
what locker room am I in?
Well, a vasectomy doesn't make you.
Mastectomy.
Oh, well, that doesn't matter. Parts don't matter. If you had a mastectomy, then you're still female, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
So
So,
unless
but,
you're,
but under that same argument,
yeah,
if you're in the girls' locker room, but you're transgender and you still have a penis, then you're a female.
if you identify, if you have a mastectomy, but you're still identifying as a female, then
Identifying as a psych situation, is it not? It's how you feel, how you think. It's not a physical
I
situation.
fix computers.
I like cookies. How about you, Paul? You got something random to throw in there?
If I was a psychologist, then so be it.
Right.
But-
Which I am not.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So how I feel towards something, I can't put myself in somebody else's shoes on something that I don't understand.
Okay.
So it makes it tough. After that, it's just speculation.
And I said, and that's why I kind of asked you that question, because you're not in that situation.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That is not, something that your family, is aware of because you don't do it.
If my daughter was in that situation, I'd ask my daughter what she would want to do.
Yeah, I think the American the culture in this country says that when you have a male or a female in a locker room and they look at each other is wrong. But go to other cultures and see what they don't care whether you're a male or a female. They'll dress right in front of one another.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the old days and
They have co-ed locker rooms.
cold
They don't
head
care.
locker rooms. They don't really care. So we're so hung up on this gender thing
Yeah.
that I think probably 20 years from now, you're going to find that
Nobody cares.
it's going to be open.
Yeah.
I honestly think that
I agree.
in 20 years, you're going to find that women are going to be able to go topless without
It's too bad that we have to go this far,
Yeah.
like homosexuality. Like I
Yeah.
said, I'm more aware of it because I grew up in that environment. Back in the day, I mean, if you said you were gay, well, then guess what? You're swinging naked from a chandelier because you're just a
Yeah.
wild
Well,
sex,
because it's-
fiend because you're gay.
because of the
Nothing to do with it.
because of the interpretation of what people think it is.
Right.
Perception.
Perception.
Yeah.
Now there are some individuals that go to the extreme.
Yeah.
Okay, and you kind of say, well, why is that person doing that? And you're going to say he's a little wacky, but there are other ones that they're common people. You never know.
Sure.
So, but yeah, I think 20 years from now, you're going to find that our culture is going to change. There's going to be a lot of things that are
Well,
going
I
to
think
be
it's
open.
changing every day.
Yeah, and
it's
we're
just-
not used to it.
Yeah.
The younger people are used to
Exactly.
it. We're not used to it because
Right.
we lived in this strict culture, strict ruling of male, female.
Doctors used to smoke in the hospital patients' rooms.
Absolutely. We used to smoke
Could-
at work.
Right, because it was accepted.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I
So-
mean? It was okay, but that changed.
Yeah.
And this will change too. And hopefully sooner than later, because, it's like one of the questions that I came up with. It has so many questions and not enough answers right now.
Right. Right.
And I thought about, okay, so if we're being uber sensitive about this transgender female that plays volleyball in what locker room, and we're sensitive to her needs. Are we being insensitive to the rest of the team? And does that matter?
I think it matters.
I think it matters too, but somebody in the situation is going to get the short end of the stick.
And in this particular case, it's the rest of the volleyball team.
Yeah.
Right. So basically we're telling another, and I'm just playing again,
I know
devil's
you are. I
advocate,
know.
right?
Yep.
I rarely get up on a soapbox here,
Mhm.
And it's like, okay, so now what we're saying is that the other 9 girls have to suck it up, Sally, because of one person.
Well, what would make the worst story? If you kicked the girls out of the locker room, or you said this transgender person can't use the bathroom, can't use the locker room. I think they would get more blowback from saying that one person couldn't use it.
They are.
Yeah.
And it's against law in Vermont.
Mhm.
Vermont says that they have the rights. So that's why.
Look, if you want to do something in town, like build something. Oh, wait a minute, can't do that right now. Oh, Jesus. So you go to P&Z, right? And you planning and zoning, and you try to get something changed, get the language changed in a particular, ordinance or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So doesn't this have to happen here? So we're talking about the law in New Hampshire or Vermont. It says, well, this person can do this. Okay, fine. So why don't we? I 100% agree with Peggy. Create a space for the transgender athlete or athletes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That way, there's no question or whatever. They have their own space here. This is yours. What's wrong with that? There's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
I would
If
say-
that transgender athlete has a problem with that, well, then it's something a little deeper.
I would say do that just because it's the only solution that we can come up with at this moment.
But that-
We don't know,
That you're able to go ahead and hopefully satisfy both sides.
Right.
Unfortunately, the school board and the state and the law in Vermont is protecting the transgender and telling the girls they're wrong. And then there's one cubicle telling them, you girls use that, and the girl gets the whole locker room.
Gotcha.
Hmm.
All right. Hey, guys.
We almost solved it today. Almost.
We're this close to solving world peace, and we got to eat breakfast.
And it's 10 o'clock. Oh, man.
Daryl, thank you for joining us today. Thanks for coming in
Yeah, no
and
problem.
fixing computers and stuff.
Yep.
And you too, Paul.
Yep. Yeah, thanks, Paul.
All right. Have a good day, everyone. Thank you very much for being with us. Tomorrow morning, not quite sure what's going on here. I will be here. I have no idea who's going to be with
If
us.
something breaks, I'll be back, I guess.
We may have somebody have a couple people in virtually. Shut up.
Cliffhanger.
Have a good day, everyone. Thanks for spending some time with us right here at SNSN.